Hi, I'm Roamy. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Lenny Lamb Lenny Light carrier to carry a newborn. So here I've got a Lenny Light carrier, and as you'll see it's quite big at the minute. So what we're going to do is going to adjust it to make it smaller. So if you look at the waistband here, you've got a Velcro panel. So what I'm going to do for a newborn is adjust it so the Velcro is at the narrowest position. So just sliding it across there. And then doing the same on this side. So just slide both pieces across so that is done up across like that. It does have little markers about height, but for newborn I'd always put it narrower, and then as they get bigger just make it slightly wider depending on how long their legs are. So I've got that folded down onto there. Then if we look at the very front of the carrier, I'm going to turn it around. On the front you'll see you've got these two vertical straps here and here. Now these adjust the panel height. So for newborn, we're going to want to have it smaller. So I'm going to adjust it down to the smallest setting. We can adjust this once baby's in there if we need to make it slightly longer. But for a newborn, you're likely to need it on pretty much the shortest setting. So we've got the width narrowed and we've got the panel height shortened. So we're now ready to put it on. So you're going to hold it with that black band in towards you like this. And you're going to bring the strap around behind. So this one is going to go right the way around behind. And I find if you swivel it right round to the front like this and clip it up in front, just pop it through the elastic, it's much easier to tighten it in front of you than behind. So just pull that across. Now, for a newborn, you're going to want to wear this fairly high. How high will depend on how long your torso is and how tall baby is. But generally it's going to want to be around the bottom of your rib cage, and you want it to sit snug but not uncomfortable. So if it's not quite tight enough, swivel it back round, tighten it up, and then bring it back round again like that. And you want to make sure it's sitting nice and level front to back. Now this piece here we can tidy away later, so I'll show you how to do that. So make sure this is sitting centrally on your body. I'm now going to show you how we adjust the straps. Now there's two different ways of doing up the strap. So what I'm going to do is show you one method with one strap and the other with the other. So for one strap, we're going to be tightening this one straight backwards here. So I've tightened up the bit of strap that connects into the padding so it's at its longest there, so haven't got very much of this there. And then on the other end I've just shortened it a little bit so it's not too long. Again, this will depend on your body as to how long you'll need it, but you can extend it or tighten it once you do it up. So that's one strap, which I'm going to demonstrate one way. The other one, I've adjusted it so you've got the piece here, instead of it being fully tightened, I've got that loosened, because this is one I'm going to grab from behind to tighten. So it's totally personal preference which method you do, but I thought I'd show you both so you've got options. So with that one, I've got this one a little bit longer and then this one a bit shorter. Okay, this clip here, this is a clip you'll use if you're wearing the straps straight and also if you're back carrying, so you don't need to use it for now. I tend to find just moving it lower down towards the buckly bit here just means it won't get caught behind your neck or sit uncomfortably on you, but you can move it anywhere you like. And what I'm just going to do here is I've got this one fully tightened, the one here with a little buckly bit on. I'm just going to roll this up, so roll the webbing over, so it's like that, and then I'm going to pass the elastic back over, so it's like that. That just means I'm not going to accidentally grab this one when I'm trying to tighten other things. So it just tidies it away, and that's what we're going to do with this later on. Okay, so we've got the straps all set up, we've got it sitting nice and high, and we've got it all narrowed for our newborn. So now it's time to pick up baby. So this doll is approximately kind of average newborn size. All you're going to do is you're going to give baby a cuddle with the head on your chest, like this, the head on the upper chest that's below your chin. And they'll generally be in this kind of curled up position with their little knees tucked above their bottom. Obviously my doll doesn't naturally bend like a newborn, so I need to slightly maneuver it. But with your newborn, you should hopefully be able to just give them a cuddle on your front and they'll be curved up in this position. So what you're going to do is you're going to support them with one hand, and you can use your chin to support their chest, chin to support their head if you need to. Then slide your hand under the panel and just carefully stroke it up over their bottom and back so you're holding them across their shoulders. Now we want to make sure this goes no higher than the nape of their neck, and this is why we've worn the waistband higher, because we've got it scooping between us and baby here, which shortens the panel, and we've also tightened the bit on the front. If it's not quite up to the nape of their neck, that's okay because we can lengthen it later, but you don't want it going up over their head. If you do find it's going too high, just make sure you've got this nice and high on you, so you've got some of the panel between you and baby, and just also make sure you hold baby, so if I just bring this back down, make sure you're holding baby with their bottom very slightly over the panel, so not above it like that. You don't want to kind of gap above, you want to hold them so their bottom is slightly over the material, so when it's scooped up, it doesn't come up any higher than the nape of their neck. So hold them across their shoulders, put one strap over one shoulder, hold them with the other hand, and put the other strap over the other shoulder. Okay, so just keep one hand gently resting on their shoulders. Their weight is taken by the carrier, so you don't need to support their bottom, you're just supporting their shoulders. So I'm going to hold them with one hand, and with the other I'm going to reach round, and I'm going to grab the strap on the opposite side. So you're literally reaching across to the other side, and I'm going to bring this straight down to hold baby really snug. Then I'm going to bring it round and clip it in. Now you can see this isn't quite long enough, so all I'm going to do is just gently lift the back of the clip and clip it in here. And if you take it, you've got a little bit of elastic, so loop the elastic over the buckle like that, and then you're going to clip that together. Now this one, you can see I've got kind of a long piece hanging down here. So what I'm going to do is take this piece here, and I'm going to pull it at 45 degrees, so like diagonally towards the floor, to tighten it up. So I've just literally gone across like that to tighten it. So that's one method of tightening. We're now going to do the different method with the other side. So hold baby with the other hand and reach around behind. Grab the strap on the opposite side, just like we did with the first one. And again, you're going to put it straight down, and you should be able to see here that that tightens this bit up there. So when you put it straight down, what it does is it tightens it so baby's held snug against you, but it also locks the strap in place. So then when I bring it across, it doesn't go into my neck. If I show you here, if I have it nice and loose and I just pull it across, it'll just dig towards my neck. So you always want to put it straight down so baby's held really snug, and then bring it round. So what I'm going to do is, again, I've got my little elasticy bit here, so just bring the elastic over the buckle and then clip that in like that. Okay, so with this method, we're going to tighten from here. So what I'm going to do is just going to loop my fingers over the webbing and pull it down and forward to make sure all my slack is around here. So you can see all the loose stuff's here. Let go and then pull that straight back. So what you're doing is you're bringing the slack from here all the way around and over to here before you tighten it. This means you'll be tightening the strap and not baby's stomach. So just to run through that again, this one here, we're tightening by pulling it diagonally across there. That's pretty snug. And then this one here, you're bringing the slack round and tightening backwards. Now everybody has different preferences. Some people find doing this diagonal movement fairly easy. Other people prefer to go like that. So have a play with it, see which one you prefer. Now, these are the key things. First of all, check you can see baby's face and they've got nice clear airways. Make sure this is no higher than the nape of their neck or their earlobe. So they're held nice and snug, but they've got nice clear air circulation. If it's not quite high enough, you can either just take the stop edge and just give a very little bounce just to bring it higher, or if you need to, you can lengthen these by lifting this. So I'll show you on one side. If I lift this up, you can see that goes taller. So you can make it taller by lifting that up. But you want it going, this is sitting nicely on baby here. So yeah, if you need to lengthen it, you can bring those up, or you can give a gentle bounce to bring it a bit higher. So we check they've got clear airways. We check it's no higher than the earlobe. You want to make sure they're nice and snug. They should feel as tight as if you were holding them in your arms. If you're not sure if they're tight enough, a good way to check is rest your hand on the back of their head and just gently lean forward and make sure their body doesn't pull away from you. You want to ensure they can't slump down in the carrier, so they should feel nice and snug against you. Final check is check that their legs are sitting comfortably. So ideally, you want to make sure that their knees are above their bottoms. It's called an M position because it's like an M like that. So knees above bottom. And for a newborn, they'll generally have their knees at around hip width, so sort of tucked into their own hip width. So if you feel that their legs are a little bit wide on you, do what I've just done there. So I literally just took their thighs and gave a little tilt and brought them in and round. So you're kind of curving the knees up in towards you and around, just to make sure they're sat comfortably. That will just take any pressure off their tummy, which is good, particularly if they've just fed, and make sure they're sitting in a nice ergonomic position. And you can see now their legs are a little bit closer in towards me with their bottom below their knees. You can see that here as well. It is often the position that babies adopt naturally, so your baby is quite likely to be in that position. But if they have maybe wriggled a little bit while you've been putting them in, then that's how you can get their legs into a nice comfy position. So you're literally just bringing them round and up so they're sitting comfortably. Try not to take their feet because it's quite hard to do it, and there is a reflex on the bottom which can mean they can push up. So just try and just take either their knees or their thighs just to give that gentle curve. Okay, the hands will generally be up on your chest like this. Just check they're not kind of caught underneath the buckles. So now we've done all our safety checks and we've made sure baby's okay, we can now tidy away any excess. So I mentioned this one before, so we've got quite a long piece of webbing here. So just like I did with the one on the back, you're just going to roll this around. So you keep rolling it over and over and over. I can't reach too far around, but then what you're going to do is you're going to bring the elastic up and over. So it basically goes round on itself. And what that does is that's tidied that away. Now, if it was further around, I could probably get it shorter, but it basically just means you haven't got a big long tail hanging down. You can do exactly the same on these ones here. Because once you've got this set for you, you shouldn't need to do lots and lots of tightening or loosening each time. It should be fairly set. So I'm just rolling this around, and then I'm going to fold that back over on here to tidy those up. You obviously don't need to do that if you don't want to, it just tends to make it a bit neater. Now obviously we've tightened the two different straps in different ways. So on here I've got this one quite short, on here it's longer, because on the back they're different lengths too. But you can play about with whichever method of doing up you prefer. So that's the method for using the Lenny Light carrier to carry a newborn on your front with the straps crossing. I'm now going to show you how to do it with the straps straight. So I'm going to take baby out of here, like this, so unclip, and just bring that elastic back round and over, and do the same here. So unclip, bring that back and over, keep one hand on baby and bring one strap off one shoulder, and then do the same with the other. Then you can hold them on the inside of the fabric and lift them out. So we've set it all up for a newborn. So if you've just skipped forward, have a look back at the beginning of the video just to see how to get it all set up and adjusted. What we're now going to do though is we're going to take the straps and we're going to do them up straight before we start. So again, take your elastic, pop the clip through there and do it up here. And you want to make sure there's a nice straight loop going around, so it goes straight round from one to the other. Now I've tidied that away, so I'm just going to loosen it off. I'm just going to make sure that I've got this loosened, so I've got a little bit either way, so I can choose which way I want to tighten it. So if you look through here, I've got some loose webbing here and here, so whichever way I want to tighten it I can do. I'm now going to do exactly the same on the other side. So I'm going to bring this around, get my little elastic safety clip, so I'm going to put it through there and then do the clip up, and then again I'm going to adjust these so I've got a little bit of excess webbing on either side so I can tighten whichever way I want. Now how long you need these would depend on your body shape and build, so the broader you are, the longer you'll need these to be. So you can kind of guesstimate. Once you've got them set for you and your baby, you don't need to adjust them. So I'm now going to look at this clip on the back. So with the earlier part of the video, I moved them down, so they're down here. Now we're going to want them close to our neck, so I'm going to move them up a little bit. This is a little bit of trial and error because obviously everybody's got different heights, so I'm just moving them up. And if you just try it over your shoulder now, so imagine you had a baby in there, and bring that up, just check these are going to sit so they're slightly behind your neck once you've got baby in. So imagine there's a baby in there. I want this to be behind my neck so I can reach it fairly easily. Now with the tightness of the clip, I'm just going to undo this elastic here. You're going to want this clip to be easy to clip behind your neck. So to clip it, it goes like that. It's got a little magnet. So you don't want this too long. You want it to be fairly narrow unless you've got very, very broad shoulders. So just make sure that's kind of tightened up what looks about right for behind you. Again, you can tighten or loosen it once it's there. That now is all set up for carrying baby. So I'm going to pick up my baby. Now this doll is about newborn size, and you're going to give them a little cuddle with their head on your upper chest. And you want to make sure their bottom is very slightly over this material. So you don't want them sat above it, you want it slightly over, so they've got a nice kind of scoop that they're sat in. So hold them with the head on your chest and the little hands tucked up, and then you're going to gently slide your hand under the material and bring this up over their bottom and back so you're holding them across their shoulders. Now you want to ensure this goes no higher than the nape of their neck. Now we've adjusted all of these down shorter, so it should be about right. If you do find though it's coming too high, so it's coming up over their ear, just make sure your waistband is sitting nice and high so you've got a nice amount of fabric scooping between you and baby so that it's not covering their face. Right, so keep one hand over their shoulders and you're going to put one strap over one shoulder. It's a bit like putting a rucksack on the front. Hold them with the other hand, put the other strap over the other shoulder. Just going to move that clip down a little bit because it's a bit close to my neck. Okay, so now you're going to hold the straps here and here and just run your hands up and find that clip behind and do it up. So it just literally sort of snaps into place on top, okay? If you need to, tighten it across. Just show you, tighten that across so that these sit nicely on your shoulders. Now keep one hand on baby and I'm going to reach around here and I'm going to bring this one straight down and forward. Now if you find that awkward, you can also tighten this way, but generally it's a bit easier to go with this one. Now don't just put it straight down, because you can see if I put it down it doesn't really move. You want to put it down and forwards towards baby, so it's kind of following the line it's coming from. That makes it easier. Okay, we're going to reach around with the other hand and do exactly the same. So you're going to go down and forwards, or if you want to, you can go backwards on that one there. So it's whichever you want to do, and you can play about with how loose these are in different places to make it easy to reach this one around here. So we've tightened this all up, so baby should feel nice and snug now. And once they feel snug, you can let go. So the checks to do are, first of all, check you can see baby's face and they've got nice clear airways. Check this is no higher than the earlobe or nape of neck, like that. And you want to make sure they're nice and snug against you. Now, if you're not sure if they're tight enough, this is a good way to check. Just rest your hand on their head, just lean forward a little bit and check their body doesn't pull away from you. If it does, just reach around here and find these ones under your armpits and you're just going to pull them a little bit forward just to tighten it up. And check again. Okay, we also want to check they're sitting in a nice comfy position. So ideally you want their knees above their bottom with their little knees tucked up around hip width. So if they are a little bit straight or if they're a little bit wide, just take their thighs here and you're going to give a little tilt, so you bring the knees up and in towards you. So I'll show you that from the front. So you're going to go up and in towards. It's like a kind of curving around. And what that does is that brings their knees up, takes any pressure off their tummy and makes sure they're in a nice comfy position on you. Okay, that's basically it. Got nice clear airways, nice and snug, legs are sitting comfortably. And then just check you're happy with how everything's sitting on you. So if your straps are a bit wide, loosen them off a little bit here by lifting those, tighten up the clip here and then retighten. So the tighter this is, the looser these will be. So if you do need to tighten this, loosen them off, and the way to loosen is just literally put your thumb under here and lift that forward. If I can do it, I'll do it with two hands. Like that, just to loosen it off, and then you could adjust that, and then you can tighten either by pulling this one straight down and forwards or by pulling this one back, whichever you prefer. But you want to make sure these straps sit nicely on your shoulders so they're not putting any pressure one way or the other. Okay, this is how it looks on your back. Now there is another way to do this, which I will show you with a larger doll, which is where the clip ends up a little lower down. The lower method is a little bit more supportive when baby is bigger, but this is a little bit quicker, particularly when they're a newborn. You've obviously also got the crossing strap method, which a lot of people find more supportive and comfy. So have a go with both, see which one you prefer. So final thing is to get baby out. So to get baby out, we're just going to undo this clip. So to undo it, I'll show you what in the front, but you literally bring the two clips so they kind of go together and lift. So just bring that apart. Now baby is still held with it undone, but obviously that stops it coming off your shoulders. Put one hand on baby and bring one strap off one shoulder. Other hand on baby and bring the other strap off the other shoulder. And then you can carefully lift your baby out and put them down. And then that's obviously all ready to go. Now that method's quite nice because once you've got it set, you literally just bring it over your shoulders and clip it together. Everyone's got different preferences. So that's how to use the Lenny Lamb Lenny Light to carry a newborn in 2 different positions. I hope it was helpful.